Hi, this is a quick video for a homework problem from section 9.3, problem number 3. So basically what's going on here is we're asked to find the critical values of chi-squared at the two ends of the confidence interval, alpha over 2 and 1 minus alpha over 2. So remember, 95% is the level of confidence, which means 5% is the level of significance. That's our alpha. So we're trying to go from half of that, so from 2.5% all the way up to 97.5% on the curve to figure out our critical values. Now, since we were given chi square, that helps us narrow down what to do. And I'm going to use StatCrunch. And there's a couple of different options depending on what is given. And so it's a little bit you have to pay attention. Now, we don't know anything at all about the situation except for the sample size. And so if I go into Stat, we can go into calculators and we can go to chi-square. We also do some other calculations with chi-square where we go into variance statistics and we do one sample because these also talk about confidence intervals. And so I just want to point out really quick, if you try to do any of these with the variance, the challenge is that we are not given the sample variance. We don't know what that is and we can't calculate it. So these variance calculators won't work. So we need to go into Stat and then go into Calculator and go to chi-square. So the degrees of freedom. Now, we weren't given the degrees of freedom, but we were given the sample size of 20. And the degrees of freedom is always 1 less than that. It's basically if holding one constant, how many different ways can you move something? So it's n minus 1, so that's 19. And then we're actually going to do between because we have a confidence level. And so it's easier to do between than to do each one separately. And the picture is super helpful. So 95% as a decimal, we divide it by 100, that's 0.95. So doing these calculations, we see that the critical values are 8.90. It says 3 places, 8.907 to 32.852. Now, which one is which helps to remember what alpha represents. So alpha is our level of significance, and it's everything to the right of the critical value. So if we're looking at, if alpha is 5% here, so 1 minus alpha over 2 is 97.5% is to the right of that critical value. And so that's the smaller number here. And then here, 2.5% is to the right of the critical value here. So the 1 minus alpha over 2 is going to help give us our critical value for the lower bound. And then the alpha over 2 gives us the critical value for the upper bound. Okay, I hope that helps.